Hello my dears, and welcome back to Anara Tarot. Today I have your quick little astrology guide for the month of May 2025. Following the deep shifts of April, May invites us to keep building on the transformation with clarity, courage and conscious action. From emotional breakthroughs to rare transits, this month supports both inward growth and forward steps. I'm keeping this one simpler than usual, as these videos tend to be the most time consuming. Like always, timestamps for each week are in the description, but let us get straight into it. The month starts off with some major transits. On the 2nd, Venus and Neptune conjunct in Aries, heightening our sense of romanticism and idealism. We might feel more sensitive and impulsive at the same time, especially in matters of the heart. Watch out for unrealistic expectations to avoid disappointment throughout this week. On the 4th, Pluto goes retrograde in Aquarius, where it will stay until mid-October. This shift could bring some initial confusion, heaviness, and a magnification of your problems. This means things might feel much worse than they actually are. When Pluto is in retrograde, we're being asked to look at our need for control, as well as our self-destructive and self-sabotaging tendencies. This period holds a lot of potential to work on the power you hold within and to make the necessary adjustments in your life to accommodate for your light. By the 5th, both the Moon and a Mercury-Jupiter sextile encourage your future and your routines to come back into focus. This is a favorable time to plan for the preferred path ahead, as luck is on our side. Socializing now tends to feel more fulfilling, and going on a little adventure might also not be a bad idea. With Venus sextiling Jupiter on the 6th, romance has fertile grounds. This transit is set to bring a deeper understanding of our own desires and the desires of others, facilitating connection. This is also a good time to release unhealthy relationships and patterns in order to make space for more fulfilling connections to come into your life. The first week of May ends on a soft note with a Mercury-Chiron conjunction on the 7th. This very positive transit allows for more vulnerability in our communication. Its influence helps us open our minds as we explore our inner wounds with ourselves and others. We can now heal with our words as much as we can hurt. Remember to make choices that allow for personal growth rather than quick gratification. Things are pretty chill at the start of the 2nd week. The Moon moves through Libra and enters Scorpio by the 10th. The same day, Mercury moves into Taurus, grounding our mind and communication somewhat for the next couple weeks. The idea of common sense might be coming up more in conversation during this transit, as we try to find stability in our unshakable truths. On the 12th, we'll see a Scorpio full moon in the sky. It deals with the polarity and balance of structure and transformation. This full moon is about emotional revelations and declarations. Something has been building inside of us, and over the next 2 weeks might be the time when the energy demands for it to be let out. There could be some impulsivity or abruptness involved with these revelations, as the Sun conjuncts Uranus and Mercury squares Pluto during this full moon. On the 13th, Mercury opposes Lilith, highlighting a struggle between our reason and our emotions, as well as in decision-making. There is a conflict felt between our own needs and desires and those of others. Personal freedom becomes a driving force, and with the Sun sextiling the North Node a day later, there is a free flow between yourself and your karma, aligning you more and more with who you have always been meant to be. On the 15th, the North Node ends up squaring Jupiter, potentially leading to us finding ourselves at odds with one another. A conjunction between the Sun and Uranus on the 17th might bring an unexpected change and excitement. This transit encourages breaking from routine especially if frustration or restlessness is coming up. You could also experience greater self-awareness now. Stay open to new experiences and people, but don't take unnecessary risks, as Uranus rules over accidents and damages. We might find ourselves getting rather impatient as the third week progresses. On the 18th, Mercury squares Mars, heightening the potential for conflict. Our tongue could end up being faster than our brain now, and with Jupiter sextiling Chiron the same day, these resulting confrontations might be opportunities for healing and personal growth. Addressing past wounds from a place of having healed deep self-worth issues will lead to a greater sense of abundance in your life, even if it feels uncomfortable. By the 20th, the moon has moved into Pisces and the sun made its way into Gemini, ringing in Gemini season, a social time in which communication might come more easily to us, but we could also find ourselves more scatterbrained or indecisive than usual. A sextile between the Sun and Saturn on this day also highlights unique talents and knowledge. Sharing your gifts and abilities could bring big rewards now, especially if you persevere with a strong work ethic. This transit helps us step into a leadership role as we move into the very busy fourth week of May 2025. Get ready, the month ends on a bang, and this week is packed to the brim with major transits. On the 22nd, the moon restarts its journey in the zodiac as it enters Aries, bringing a focus onto new beginnings. Though more assertive, we might also find ourselves more impatient. The sun sextiles Neptune on the same day, making this a right place at the right time kind of day. A very auspicious transit that expands perspectives, leaving us feeling inspired to serve others as we continue to work on our own self-development. There is a little extra fairy dust on the 22nd with another transit. Venus trines Mars, enhancing romantic attraction and creative pursuits. So if you have the opportunity to have some fun and socialize today, do it. A day later, on the 23rd, Mercury stands in a harmonious sextile to the North Node, helping us connect deeper with our intuition and align more with our authentic self. On the 24th, the Sun and Pluto trine, really allowing us to get to the bottom of things. We are being called to eliminate the superficial elements in our lives as they don't suffice anymore. This transit also enhances our ability to focus on our goals as we draw upon the past and the resources we have been given. Mercury conjuncts Uranus now as well, a major transit that further supports our intuition. Our ideas now might feel a little out there, but if you are able to stay focused, progress will happen. A huge shift comes on May 25th with Saturn moving into Aries. Saturn hasn't been in this sign for the last 28 years. With Saturn in Aries, we might initially experience frustration when pursuing our personal goals. There could be a rejection of big show of self, but as we learn to balance the sacrifices needed between our individual needs and our collective responsibilities, we can overcome this discomfort. This is a rare opportunity for personal growth. It's all about balanced attention. Excessive or ungrounded confidence will no longer work. If you haven't been working on your own self-centeredness or you're opposing fear of being seen, you will have to now. Are you still with me? Because this week keeps shooting. On the 26th, Mercury and the Moon enter Gemini, highlighting communication and philosophy. Our mind could be racing with seemingly opposing thoughts. Our ability to focus could also be impacted now, as the mind might prefer new stimulation over tunnel vision. Mercury also sextiles Saturn in this position, actually clearing the mind a little to facilitate honest and open conversations. This could be a good day to share with others. Matters related to your karma and your ancestors might be at play here, Another sextile with Neptune reminds you to trust your intuition today. Whatever is coming up for a reason. When the mind can't reach any deeper, creative expression could hold the key for transformative reflection. Trust that when you are inspired, you are inspiring others. The 27th sees a new moon in Gemini, asking us to reassess our communication and our socializing styles. Even though some connections might feel fast and superficial, you're being asked to see the beauty of such connections. Our desire for more understanding in our interactions could also be amplified with Mercury and Pluto's influence on this lunation. This could be a somewhat pleasantly intense time. May ends with us getting back into ourselves as the moon moves through Cancer into Leo by the 30th. Express yourself, allow yourself to shine now, and remember, this period of our lives is all about facing ourselves, the good, the bad, and to find the balance that allows us to shine the brightest. The Sun conjuncts Mercury on the same day, sending us off with an enhanced mental ability and a deeper focus on our communication and thinking. A short little trip might be coming up now, or an increase in personal interactions. Whatever it is, know your wants are aligning with your thoughts and actions, one decision at a time. Thank you for joining me today, my friend. Maybe you could leave a like, a comment, or even subscribe to let me know you enjoyed this forecast. As mentioned in the beginning, you can always find the timestamps for each week in the description, so you can come back whenever you feel called to do so. Have a lovely May. Bye-bye.